Did it ever happen to you that you are browsing through some food pictures on social media and probably you are out on the street looking into the banners and you saw something which called to you on a different level, like you wanted to eat that thing or drink that thing right there, right now? It has happened to you, right? And it has happened to me too. There is a very important factor on how to nail those money shots. And the most important part of nailing those kinds of shots is the type of glass or the lens that you use. It's such an important part of photography. Well, we can talk about composition, we can talk about light theory, we can talk about the color theory, the color wheel, and you can talk about anything in photography whatsoever. But using the right glass is one of the most important things that you can do in terms of photography. So what if I say that you have to choose between one lens throughout your life, and you have to shoot food throughout your life with that single lens? And I'll be happy to do that because I know I have a lens that I can use it all my life without any problem whatsoever. And that lens could be the game changer for you. So if you're not using that lens, it's highly recommended. Just think about it. And I'll tell you why. Let's roll the intro and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so what would be that lens that you need to carry it all the time for food photography? For me, it's undoubtedly this, the Sony 90mm macro 2.8 G lens. Well, the images that you see that I take on social media, I think 80% of them are taken with this lens, because once you get the hang of this lens, once you start using this lens, there is no going back. It's like addiction, but in a good way. I will tell you why you need to use this lens, and if you're not using it, and don't worry if you don't have a Sony system. It's like I am using Sony because I own a Sony camera. So if you have a Canon, if you have a Nikon, everyone has their own version of their macro lenses, which will vary from 90mm to 100mm. It's as good as it is. I mean, whatever the camera that you're using doesn't matter. You got to find a macro lens for your camera, and that's gonna work for you. The first reason that you need to use this lens right now for your food photography is the absolute sharpness. This is a razor sharp lens. This is considered to be one of the sharpest lenses in the world for Sony ecosystem. And in food photography, I think sharpness really is a big deal, because you want the viewer to actually reach out into the screen or reach out into the banners or posters and grab the food right now, because that's what you should be doing as a photographer. That's the main motive. You know, make them hungry, make them thirsty, and this lens plays an important part in that because it's very, very sharp. Since it's a macro lens, people have the misconception that macro lenses are only used in terms of clicking close range shots, which consists of various insects and plants and leaves and stuff like that. But actually, macro lens is a wonderful lens and a very sharp lens for food photography and portrait photography too. The first reason as a food photographer is to make your viewer hungry or thirsty, whatever is applicable, and this sharpness will help you do so. As a food photographer, you might have come across a situation where you are hitting a creative block. You don't know how to compose and what to compose. Well, trust me, this lens will take you out of it, because this lens, being a long focal length of 90mm, will give you a window to work on, or a frame which is very small, which is not big. You just need to concentrate on the hero dish, and the rest of the items you can just place it as you like without thinking much about the composition. So sometimes it happens that you don't know what to place, or you don't have enough objects to place when you are shooting at a restaurant, when you're shooting on location. At that time, this lens comes in super handy. It'll still feel like premium shot, and people would be amazed by the quality of it, because this would concentrate heavily on the hero dish rather than the surroundings. And keeping that in mind, you can also do top shots with it. I mean, you have to go a little higher since it's 90mm, but since you're doing top shots too, the hero dish in focus and the sides, you don't have to worry about much, because your frame is small, which is 90mm, which is very compact. It's not a 50mm or 35mm lens where you need to think about the frame too much and you have to place your objects accordingly. So if you're not sure about the composition, this will help you big deal. Well, another reason to use this lens right now is this absolute beautiful, delicious bokeh that you would find. Since it's a 90mm focal length, I'm emphasizing on this fact a lot because 90mm is actually a pretty long focal length, and when you're shooting at a 90mm focal length, your main subject or the hero subject will be tacked sharp. It will be absolutely sharp, and the background will be super bokeh. It's as beautiful as you can imagine, the perfect bokeh you would be getting through this lens, because sometimes when you're shooting a burger or you're shooting a drink, you need a food to be shot head on, like right in front of you, and you need your background to be super delicious so that it looks tasty and it looks delicious and the hero stands out for you. So this 90mm compression will be amazing for you, and this will work absolutely magic every time. And not only photography, this lens will work absolutely wonderfully in terms of video as well. If you're shooting a video, you want to take close-up shots, you want to take shots that makes you hungry. Not in photography, in terms of videography, this will work. Recently, me and my friend Sarbjeet, who actually shot a video with this lens, and I will just show you how it was. So this is what I was saying, right? You get thirsty looking into the video, looking into the photos, looking into the commercials. You'd go to the place, go to the restaurants and order for the same drinks that you saw in the video. That's the magic of it. That's the beauty of this lens. It works absolutely wonderfully every time. So that will be my summation of all the reasons that why you need to buy or you need to rent this lens in order to shoot your next food photography project. And trust me, this is a one-time investment. I know this, you would say that this will be a little on the higher side, the pricing point. Yeah, it's around 60 to 64,000 currently from Amazon, but you can get a little cheaper on your local markets. And it's the same for all the brands, even Canon and Nikon. I think it goes into the same price range. So yeah, this is a one-time investment, but this is the money lens for you guys. I'm telling you again and again, with this lens, you got to earn money. If you're a food photographer, this is the lens you want to carry it with you all the time. And this lens can change your game and take your photography into the next level absolutely easily. So that's all guys, this was my review for this lens. I hope you liked the video, and also do tell me about how the pictures were that you saw throughout the span of the video, and if you have anything to say, please put it on the comment box below. Also, don't forget to like the video, and if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll come again next week. Till then, happy shooting.